what has been the biggest challenge in disc golf?
Definitely not what I would pick.
Dipped into like a little bit of mental despair.
I want to win these tournaments, so I have a reason to back it up if I have some critiques for the course.
I mean, mentally, it's just not as fun.
It's not going to be the same.
This is my favorite place on tour. These courses combined are just, I think, two of the best courses we play.
I really love playing at these courses.
Probably have to say my favorite tour stop of the whole season.
It's nice to come back here to know the courses and actually have a game plan. I don't feel like I need to practice here that much. I just need to execute. Both of these courses are very enjoyable, like one of the most enjoyable we have on tour. I just try to enjoy every step of the way, regardless of the circumstances.
These courses are definitely not what I would pick as far as my skill set goes. I want to, throw nukes as hard as I can and get big distance and let the disc actually fly like they're supposed to. So they kind of handicap us a lot on these courses. You have to, pick your shots and be very specific with landing zones.
Both these courses are like in my top 5. They're amazing.
This course just utilizes all the landscapes they have here in Vermont with, the beautiful courses they got, the wooded course and kind of the open course that Fox Run. So yeah, I think they just complement each other so well. And I think that's why the players love them so much.
And it really is two different styles that just pair so nicely together. And I think that's what makes it a huge draw for a lot of players. The play style of the courses, you have one wooded one, you have one more open with more OB. And so it really tests kind of all aspect of your game, especially if the wind gets crazy out on Fox. You have to play in the wind, you got to play with OB.
Fox Run, it's all about scoring. You have to get a lot of birdies, but there's a ton of out of bounds. I've definitely had a couple rounds out here where I just feel like the world's collapsing and a lot can go wrong very quickly.
On Fox, it's if I am going to go OB, let's make sure we're going OB late. We're not going OB immediately and having to get up and down for bogey.
I love Fox. That plays a lot to my strengths. I love it because it's like not too much OB, but it's like a fair woods course and there's not too much woods, and they're both just like my 2 favorite courses.
The finish kind of is the challenge out over there on Fox. I think that you can have a good round coming in and you got to really focus and grind out the finish, because you can let a good round slip away real easily with hole 16 through that tunnel and the out of bounds and stuff. So if you get off the fairway, you can get a bogey, double bogey quick if you're not careful. And then 18.
Hole 18 is definitely one of them over on Fox. Just standing there, looking down is so spectacular, especially if you have a chance to win the tournament.
Now it's new year, new challenges, so I just try to be present and hold those memories close to my heart, but try not to think about it when I'm competing or practicing.
Brewster is just trying to hit the center of the gap, trying to stick to the disc that I trust the most.
But Brewster is more about shooting anywhere from that 5 to 9 under range to just keep yourself in it for the tournament, and then all your scoring and surviving kind of happens out at Fox Run. And so, yeah, I think the key out here to winning is just always being within 3 of the lead. That's always the goal after every round.
Brewster, I do enjoy playing a lot for practice, but for the tournament round, it can get frustrating when you hit a tree and it's a good shot almost, but it kicks.
Brewster, I feel like I can score really well, but I feel like that's going to have more potential for some colorful scorecards, because, if you hit something early, you're scrambling.
Brewster, it's going out there and just taking what it gives you, but also trying to get a steady pace. Historically, if I can get around 7 or 8 under out at Brewster, it sets me up well.
The ethic is really just not about distance. It's more about accurate placement, shot shaping, and that's going to hold the test of time.
Throwing drivers is one of my best skills, and so it doesn't play to my strengths completely, but there's so many more parts of the game that are very important, and I feel like if I'm hitting my lines and making my putts, which you have to do on every course, if I'm doing that, I should come out pretty well this week. Mentally, it's just not as fun. That's the main thing. It's not as fun. If I was a fan of disc golf, I'd want to see people trying to rip shots and go for eagle and go for these big shots and let the disc fly. And so when you put trees in the middle of the fairway, like you do on that hole and some of the other holes, it's or even some OBs too. It's like it just makes people want to lay up, and I just feel like that's so much more boring.
I want to win these tournaments, so I have a reason to kind of back it up if I have some critiques for the course. And so at a place like D-Glow, where, it's not my favorite course, there's definitely a bunch of critiques I'd make. I wanted to win. That way, people aren't just going to be like, well, you just played bad, so that's why you're, talking crap about the course, So, yeah, I definitely read the comments on stuff like that. I don't know. I think people just need to maybe take it from a different perspective, kind of see where we're at as players and what we're having to deal with.
I know there's been a bunch of people saying, oh, Eagles forehand's never going to be the same. I think it's not going to be the same. It's going to be better. I'm just taking it one day at a time, and if I keep gaining distance the way I am, it's not even an issue anymore.
Beth at 69.
I just told myself, you got to will this one in there. Whatever you have, just will it in there.
This man is unbelievable. This is what athletes live for. This is the moment.
What has been the biggest challenge in disc golf, and I think this is it, like balancing my time that's dedicated to my career and then for the family. It's something that I feel like I'm still learning on the go. While I'm at home, try to have as much attention to my daughter as possible, and at the same time still do what I do out here. It's a bit tricky at times.
I feel as if I dipped into like a little bit of mental despair at the midpoint of the year. I had not the best European stretch, and I think it was not even related to anything disc golf. It was more just mental. But after that, it was kind of the kick in the pants I needed to go back home, reassess, and get back on track, which I feel like I'm on a good track right now. Mentally, I'm able to go out there, play, and enjoy myself.
I think in life, it's important to not always identify yourself with yourself, but to sometimes step back, look on yourself from another perspective, sort of see like the bigger picture, because I feel like life's pattern is so big and we cannot see it all the time.
No one likes playing bad, and if you play bad, it's gonna really put a damper on your overall experience. And I had a great trip in Europe, or that's what I say now, but if I could go back, like, it's unfortunate, but if you play a bunch of bad rounds, it's going to affect your overall outlook on how you're perceiving that trip.
When life gets tough, it's nice to remind yourself that there are bigger things out there, and not to really get caught up on those tricky moments, but also like the good ones, because life is going up and down. It's not a straight line, and I think that's what makes it fun. Just embracing those different time periods and moments.
We're out here throwing frisbees, and whether you win or lose the event, it's not going to define you as a person, and you can really get caught up in that trap, honestly. I know from my own experience, like, a lot of your self-worth can be tied to what place you get on the disc golf course, and I hate that. I want to get rid of that.
I just really want to take my career to the next level. I feel like with 2 world championships and 3 majors, that I kind of need to take my seriousness about the game to the next level. And so I'm hoping for a manufacturer and a company to be able to do that with and enjoy doing it, because I want to be liking what I'm doing. So those are the things I'm looking for.
My goal tomorrow is just to put myself in position, maybe have anywhere from a 7 to a 10 under par. And that way I can kind of go into Fox Run with a clear head, not pushing too hard, playing a safe game plan, keeping it in bounds.
There's a lot of room for stroke swings. I think that for the players, it's exciting, and even for the spectators, knowing that it's not over until that last putt drops on 18.
No one wants me to win more than I do, so I don't know if it's possible for other people to put more pressure on me, especially as I still feel like a little bit of the underdog.
I don't think the fact that it's a playoff event has much of a change. It makes me focus a little bit more and sharpens my mental state, and I'm able to lock in and play better than I've played a lot of the events this season. So hopefully that added pressure is working to my advantage, because this tournament does mean more than most elite events, since it is a game like you have to take the points that you get, so you can't have it fall off. So I'm hoping so, but time will tell.
I'm not currently worried about where I position. I just try to finish the season, play well, do what I can, control what I can, and not think about anything else.
Right now, I'm kind of on the bubble for the Pro Tour Championship, which is, it's honestly a little bit embarrassing. Like, I feel like I'm confident that I'm still a top 15 player, and so I feel like, I'm a higher skilled player than like half the guys, in front of me in points. And so to be where I'm at now it's not what I'm looking for.
My goal is to get that 4th place spot. Nicolas Antala I think he's 50, 60 points ahead of me. So if I play well here, get a podium, take one of these down, then I think I can catch him. But that's kind of all I can hope for, I think.
I know where I'm at in the standings, and it doesn't take away from what I'm out here trying to do. I want to go out there and play to the best of my ability. And if I qualify for the tour finals, great. If not, I get an extra off week for the off season. It's all good.
The way the season goes is kind of back end heavy. These last 2 events, they count no matter what. You don't have any more points fall off. So if you play really well these last 2 events, then we still have a major as well.
You know, the fatigue starts to catch up with you a little bit. You get little aches and pains, little like knee issues, back issues, and all that sort of thing. So it's finding the right balance between getting prepared for the courses that week, but then also giving yourself enough time to rest.
This season has been a little bit tougher for me due to some of the illnesses that I had at the beginning of the season, and also the broken rib thing, which caused me to skip some of the events. It's just the current situation, and I'm not worried.
And lastly, I gotta ask, have you even ever used shaving cream?
Not yet. Give me 10 years.
That's all we have for you. We'll be right back with some more.
Thanks.
Thanks, bud.